Have you ever wondered why men seem to struggle more on dating apps? It's a question that has surely crossed the minds of many. But to understand the answer, we first need to take a look at the landscape of online dating. The world of dating apps is a vast digital sea, teeming with hopeful singles from all walks of life. However, if you've ever dived into this sea, you might have noticed a peculiar trend. The scales, it seems, are tipped somewhat unevenly. In this realm, there tends to be a higher proportion of men than women. It's a bit like walking into a party where there are 3 men for every woman. Now, this isn't a steadfast rule across all dating platforms, but it's a common trend that's been observed in many of them. Now, you might be thinking, so what? More men, more competition, that's fair, isn't it? Well, yes and no. The issue arises when this imbalance results in an oversaturation of messages for women. Picture this. There's one woman at that party and every single man there decides to strike up a conversation with her. It's overwhelming, isn't it? For the women, it can feel like being in a room full of noise, making it difficult to focus on any one conversation. And for the men, it can feel like shouting into the void, trying to make their voices heard above the din. Each individual man finds it increasingly harder to stand out from the crowd. This, my friends, is the crux of the issue. The imbalance in the user makeup, coupled with the oversaturation of messages, can create a challenging environment for men on dating apps. It's not just about the competition, it's about the struggle to be seen and heard in a sea of voices. So, with more men and fewer women, the competition becomes fierce, doesn't it? It's a game of numbers, and the odds, it seems, are stacked against men in the world of online dating. But don't lose heart just yet. We're just getting started. And there's a lot more to this story, so stick around and let's dive a bit deeper into this fascinating world. Now that we understand the landscape, let's delve into why it's particularly tough for men. Imagine being in a room filled with hundreds, even thousands of other competitors, all vying for the attention of a select few. That's the scenario for most men on dating apps. The sheer volume of males using these platforms creates a high level of competition, often leaving men feeling like they're lost in a sea of faces. This fierce competition can mean fewer responses for men. It's not uncommon for a man to send out dozens of messages, only to receive a handful of responses, or in some cases, none at all. This can be disheartening, to say the least. It's like shouting into a void, hoping for a response, but hearing only echoes of your own voice. This constant barrage of silence can lead to feelings of rejection. After all, no one likes to feel ignored or overlooked, especially when they're putting themselves out there, trying to make a genuine connection. But it's not just a case of bruised egos. Repeated rejection, even in the digital realm, can have a significant psychological impact. It can chip away at a man's self-esteem, making him question his worth and attractiveness. It's like a negative feedback loop, where each rejection fuels self-doubt, which in turn can make it even harder to put oneself out there again. And let's not forget the paradox of choice. With so many potential matches at their fingertips, men might find themselves stuck in a cycle of indecision, constantly wondering if there's someone better just to swipe away. This can lead to a lack of commitment and a sense of dissatisfaction, further complicating the dating process. So the digital dating world, with its vast pools of potential matches and instant gratification, is not always a haven for men. In fact, it can be a challenging place where rejection often becomes the norm. But remember, it's not about the number of matches, but the quality of connections. So chin up, gents. There's always another swipe, another chance, another day. The digital dating world can be a challenging place for men, with rejection often becoming the norm. Now that we've painted a grim picture, how about some tips to navigate these treacherous waters? First, let's talk about creating a standout profile. Your profile is your first impression, and you want to make it count. Start with a high-quality profile picture. Avoid group shots, selfies, and photos with sunglasses or hats. Opt for a clear, well-lit photo of you smiling. Next, craft a compelling bio. This is where you showcase your personality. Avoid cliches, and don't be afraid to show a bit of humor. Mention your interests, hobbies, and what you're looking for. Be genuine and authentic, not what you think others want you to be. Now let's move on to initiating conversation. It's easy to fall into the trap of copying and pasting the same message to every match. But trust me, a personalized message goes a long way. Start by mentioning something you've noticed from their profile. It could be a shared interest or a question about their bio. Keep it light and engaging. And finally, let's address the elephant in the room. Rejection. It's inevitable and it can sting. But remember, it's not a reflection of your worth. It simply means you and the other person weren't a good match. Don't let rejection discourage you. Instead, use it as a learning experience. Reflect on what went wrong and use that knowledge to improve your future interactions. Remember, dating apps are merely a tool to meet new people. They're not a measure of your attractiveness or worthiness. The key is to be patient and persistent. It may take time, but with the right approach, you can make the most out of your online dating experience. And most importantly, don't forget to have fun. After all, dating is supposed to be enjoyable. Remember, each no brings you closer to a yes. Persistence pays off. So, we've covered the landscape, the challenges, and some tips. What next? Let's take a moment to recap the journey we've been on. We've delved deep into the world of online dating, highlighting the unique struggles that men face. We've seen how the overwhelming number of men messaging women can create an imbalance, leading to a lack of responses and potentially impacting self-esteem. But we've also discovered that it's not all doom and gloom. With the right approach, you can turn the odds in your favor. We've shared some practical tips and strategies to help you navigate this complex landscape. Remember, patience and persistence are key. You have the power to change your online dating experience. If you found this video helpful, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights. Remember, the world of online dating is a game, and every game has its winners and losers. Which one do you want to be?